why we need to do it now, other than essentially everybody else is doing it.
Aurora City leaders are stepping in, trying to stop a new sedative from being used by paramedics.
I just don't understand why we would take the risk of introducing an additional sedative while those charges are still pending.
Tonight, we're going deeper on what exactly that sedative is and why the fire union doesn't want to use it.
At the end of the day, my job is to advocate for our firefighters.
Plus, the search for the person who supplied deadly drugs that killed 5 people in Commerce City turns up cold.
We do not have the evidence to charge anyone with these deaths.
And CU Boulder has a new center open for students that's been a long time coming.
I feel like this center represents a lot of people's hopes and dreams come true.
And first tonight, let's take a look outside because the skies are gray and it is raining cats and dogs in some places across the metro.
This is a live look at downtown Denver. Temperatures have dropped, the wind has picked up, and it's been raining pretty steadily, which is why we brought in Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson to join us at the top of the hour.
And how long is this going to stick around, Mike?
Oh, it'll mostly be clearing out of here by dark, and then tomorrow we'll see another round.
Okay.
It's leftovers from a tropical storm that was down off of Baja, California. It's coming through here, weakening now, but this is the view out at City Park. The heaviest rain total I've seen so far is 6/10 of an inch about an hour ago down in Castle Rock as the thunderstorms move through there. You can see it's kind of winding up and moving to the north and east, and with that will come to an end for us. Now out west, there are some more showers that may impact the Grizzly Creek burn scar, and there's a flash flood watch there until 9 o'clock tonight. Those will die out before they reach the Denver area. And across the state, just a scattering of showers and storms with this tropical moisture moving through. Certainly has cooled off the temperatures. We're at 63 here while it's still 84 ahead of the rain out in Ray. So the showers will be ending tonight. Dry tomorrow morning, more showers tomorrow afternoon. You're really going to like the weekend forecast.
All right, thank you, Mike. Aurora's fire union says its firefighters don't want to use any new sedatives, especially after the death of Elijah McClain. However, the city's medical director introduced a new drug.
Tonight and first on Denver 7, we are learning Aurora City leaders are stepping in, pushing a ban on new chemical sedatives. Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kovaleski is breaking this story.
And Jen, tell us exactly what this new proposal is.
Ann and Jessica, this is a 3-year ban on the introduction of any new sedatives, including droperidol. City leaders tell me they wish they didn't have to get involved, but say now is not the time to start using a new drug.
The practice of sedating patients came under the spotlight after the death of Elijah McClain. Aurora fire paramedics injected him with the sedative ketamine.
We have 2 firefighters on trial for murder for using what they were told is safe.
3 police officers and 2 Aurora fire paramedics are facing criminal charges in his death.
Stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
I introduced an ordinance to ban the use of ketamine.
Aurora City Councilman Curtis Gardner helped stop firefighters from using the powerful sedative 2 years ago. He's now pushing a ban on any new chemical sedatives for 3 years.
I just don't understand why we would take the risk of introducing an additional sedative while those charges are still pending.
He plans to bring this 2-page resolution before council next week. It comes after Aurora's medical director introduced a new rapid-acting sedative called droperidol last month.
This is a widely used medication across the state of Colorado. Every Denver metro agency uses this approach as well.
Just because everybody else does something doesn't mean it's appropriate for us. Other cities don't have firefighters on trial for murder.
Aurora's fire union says it fully supports Gardner's ban. Union President Travis Pulliam told us in August he doesn't understand why the city is pushing droperidol.
There hasn't been an incident since the ketamine has been taken away from us, so we don't understand the urgency to bring back another one.
Are there hesitancies among your members, among firefighters, to inject anybody with anything?
Absolutely.
Why are we doing this?
Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky is co-sponsoring the resolution and has already raised her own concerns.
All it takes is one time for something to go wrong.
I don't think it should have taken city council to step in. I just don't understand the timing of this. At the end of the day, my job is to advocate for our firefighters.
Aurora Fire Rescue says it hasn't seen the resolution yet. The fire agency defended adding the new sedative back in August. It called droperidol an additional option, one of the best options to care for some of our patients. Gardner thinks he has support for this to pass. Now, the resolution would take effect immediately. Ann?
All right, Jen, thank you for that. And tonight, our investigative team went deeper into droperidol and the history of its use here in the United States. Now, the drug was first discovered back in 1961. Droperidol was used as a sedative as well as a treatment to prevent nausea and vomiting in patients immediately following surgery. And then 40 years later, in 2001, the drug received a black box warning from the FDA, which are those labels you often see on the side of prescription bottles. And the FDA warned that even low doses of droperidol can cause an irregular heartbeat and possible cardiac death if it's given in a high dose. And once the black box warning was issued, the use of droperidol significantly declined, and many hospitals stopped using it. Well, then in 2015, the American Academy of Emergency Medicine ran multiple studies on the drug and concluded that droperidol is safe to use. A few years after the 2015 study was released, use of the drug reemerged and began being produced on a large scale by manufacturers.
And it's important to note, Aurora firefighters do have a sedative they currently use. That's called Versed. It's a drug they've been using for decades. This ban being pushed by city leaders won't impact the use of Versed by firefighters. The fire union says that sedative is working just fine, and they aren't sure exactly why Aurora Fire wants to add droperidol to their toolkit. And if you would like to read more of our in-depth coverage on droperidol and the use of sedatives in Aurora, visit our website, denver7.com. You can also watch our past investigative stories on the free Denver 7 Plus app.
Nearly 7 months ago, 5 people died in a Commerce City apartment after using cocaine that was laced with a deadly dose of fentanyl. Well, today the investigation hit a standstill. Investigators said this afternoon they do not have enough evidence to charge anyone in the case. Denver 7 has spoken to the family of Karina Rodriguez, one of the victims in the case, and they tell us they are heartbroken with today's announcement, and they remain hopeful for a different outcome in the future.
A hunter was attacked and seriously hurt by a moose in Larimer County. This happened yesterday near Long Draw Road, which is south of Cameron Peak. The man said he had been out bow hunting when the bull moose gored and trampled him. He was airlifted to the hospital, and the sheriff's office could not say what his current condition is. Parks and Wildlife tells us this is the 4th moose attack in Colorado this year. In Colorado Springs, Parks and Wildlife have safely relocated this 6-year-old bear that was spotted today near an elementary school. The 350-pound bear was released into the mountains where it can now safely prepare for hibernation.
A small plane crashed into a pond in Broomfield off Northwest Parkway this afternoon. The 2 people on board, amazingly, were not injured. Both were able to get out of the plane once it landed on the water. They were able to get out on their own. And investigators are now looking into what caused that crash. A new center is now open at CU Boulder that's been in the works for nearly a decade.
Denver 7's Micah Smith explains why this center is so crucial for a school like University of Colorado Boulder to make sure all students feel welcome.
University of Colorado Boulder's Mackey Auditorium was built in 1923.
So when they built Mackey Auditorium, I could not have walked through the front door.
Fast forward to September 2022, and Mackey Auditorium is home to CU Boulder's new Center for African and African American Studies.
We called this center The Cause. So remember, it's CAAA, CAAS.
The Cause founder and director Raylan Rabaka says just 1 in 36 students on CU's campus identify as Black.
I have gotten so many emails from very concerned parents, mostly out of state. After a couple of weeks here or a month here, the students would feel very alienated.
Rabaka says The Cause will serve as an uplifting place for Black students and anyone else who's interested in Black culture.
I think that there's a tendency to focus on the tragedy of the Black experience. This is one of those triumphs, to come together and to experience the best of African American culture.
I think it was really needed.
The Cause program manager, Lakeisha Anderson, joined The Cause about a year ago.
I'm helping assist in building programs that will help, like I said, foster that community and also teach people about what it is to be African American on a predominantly white institution.
Anderson says The Cause is already changing her life.
And I believe that the work that we do in life, it has to be a driving force of our purpose. The Cause has been for me.
The center has 3 program areas, major program areas. Number 1, research. This is a research university. Number 2, the arts. And then certainly, arguably the most important, our student services program.
Rabaka says many top 100 institutions like CU Boulder have had African American Studies centers since the 1960s.
I feel like this center represents a lot of people's hopes and dreams come true. It's kind of like Sam Cooke said, it's been a long time coming.
Reporting in Boulder, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
The Center for African and African American Studies at CU will have a grand opening event in February to mark the beginning of Black History Month.
After a year of stability, a mother and her 3 kids are now forced to find a new home.
I don't have any more tears left to cry.
With nowhere to turn, how you can help them find the perfect spot for their family.
Where are we going? Where are we going to be? Where are we going to stay?
Scattered showers and storms for this evening. Tomorrow we'll see one more round.
And keeping his head high.
Our confidence isn't wavering. It's all about attitude. It's all about mentality, language.
Russell Wilson is back at Broncos practice and moving past Monday's loss.
And the thing about great teams is they always respond. If you want to be a championship team, you got to respond.
Despite the team losing a star player for Sunday's upcoming game.
It's tough, you know. I'm sure it's hard to replace a guy like Justin Simmons.